We all waited with bated breath to see if Nancy Pelosi, who holds the third most powerful position in the United States government, touched down in Taiwan last night. And thankfully she did. The significance of her successful visit to the island nation can't be understated. Pelosi is now the first high-ranking US government official to visit Taiwan in 25 years. Chinese President Xi Jinping has made reunification of Taiwan with mainland China by force, if necessary, a core commitment of his government. So whatever you think about Pelosi, and there are plenty of reasons to conclude she has caused more harm than good during her 35 years in Washington, you really must admire her for getting on that plane. Pelosi's visit was supported by US aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan, amphibious assault ship USS Tripoli, and Marine F-35 Lightning Joint Strike Fighters. China was unequivocally belligerent about Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman said, quote, "If you play with fire, you will get burned. And the People's Liberation Army will not sit idly by. If Pelosi visits Taiwan, China will take, quote, resolute and strong countermeasures," unquote. The Chinese military's Eastern Theatre Command said its soldiers have vowed to, quote, fight to the death as they prepared warships, tanks and fighter planes. The Taiwanese president's website was reportedly under a cyber attack by Chinese hackers yesterday, and anonymous callers, presumably supporters of the Chinese regime, made bomb threats to Songshan Airport and Taiyuan Airport. Yesterday, Chinese propagandist Hu Xijing threatened that China could shoot down Pelosi's plane if it landed in Taiwan. Threats don't get much more specific than that. The Chinese government said it might shoot down a plane carrying the third most powerful politician in the United States. But then came the astonishing backflip. Chinese Communist Party mouthpiece, the Global Times, said China had decided it, quote, has no interest in getting involved in a spat with an 82-year-old lady, unquote. All right, after threatening for days to start World War III, this was suddenly just a misunderstanding with an old lady? Yeah, sure. As Chinese military strategist Sun Tzu said almost 2,500 years ago, quote, appear weak when you are strong and strong when you're weak. China spent the days leading up to Pelosi's visit appearing strong. If Sun Tzu is right, then the real China is probably the opposite. In fact, video footage showed Chinese amphibious tanks having to weave through heavy traffic on their way to the Chinese coast adjacent to Taiwan. The decisive, resolute and strong countermeasures China threatened never eventuated. China is now increasingly isolated. The only nation to support it was Russia, where the Kremlin took a moment from bombing Ukraine to issue a statement saying Pelosi's visit was provocative. In fact, it looks like the best China could come up with in response to the visit was to summon the US ambassador in Beijing and rebuke him. That's not very tough. The message for Australia is clear. The West and our allies can call China's bluff if we remain strong.